Use the code CHICKEN in the shop.
Season 43, Return of the MECH. Guys, the chicken is here. We are back today with another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, early April Fools yesterday. I don't know how I missed that, but my bad. I guess there was a title for the season, and apparently it was in this month on Boom Beach, so whoops. But either way, we got the title now, Season 43, Return of the MECH. Now, this could be interesting for a couple of reasons. What? Look at all the gold we have in the shop, guys. Yeah. That's cool. If you are in the shop, by the way, I appreciate it if you throw in that code chicken. If you're going to get any of the Chinese Lunar New Year things, let's upgrade a couple critter launchers here while we're waiting. And yeah, so Return of the Mechs. Return of the Mechs. So I think, based on the title, I think it's safe to say that we're going to have mechs this season. Maybe not. You never know. You never know, right? Should we do Hammerman? We never do Hammerman. We'll do like 3 or 4 stages, or wherever we can get to. So this is better now, right? Because the mechs are actually somewhat decent. Now, the thing is with warships, we don't typically use mechs that often because although they're certainly better than the original mechs, the new mechs with the stunning ability and a little bit faster, a little bit more DPS. If you guys didn't see that, make sure you check out the update video when we talked about them. But basically, they're a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, and I think they have a little bit more health, or maybe that's about the same because they always had a ton of health. But we're going to use the mechs today and just see if we can figure out some interesting ways to use them. Because based on the name of the season, I would assume, I think it's safe to assume that they're going to be one of the first things in the tech tree. I'm guessing that we're going to have mechs at 3 ERs instead of Heavy Rush. I think that only makes sense. It's possible that it's not, but yeah. So I think we'll probably start off with just Mech Rush. But what works well with mechs? Obviously Bombardiers. I can't see them going 2 seasons in a row without having Bombardiers. That wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. So yeah, I think hopefully bombers aren't too early on, because then it's just going to be mech bombers for like the whole way through. It's better when we have troops that don't really work that well, but get the job done and are kind of fun to use. So maybe like Hidden Warriors or Mechs and Zukas or something at first that's a little bit different, and then by the time we get sick of that, we can change over to Mechs, Bombardiers, and Kavan until we get our heavy choppers. So hopefully it kind of plays out like that. We're doing pretty well in Hammerman so far, with no ice statues. I guess the higher level defenses make this a little bit easier. Here we go. So we got some mechs right there. And look at the difference. They're going to distract everything, and we're probably going to lose this Hammerman. Because that's a lot of mechs, and those things have a ton of health. Yep, so as soon as the shock launchers go down, we are roasted and toasted. But yeah, not a bad go with the hammerhead today, and yeah. So I think what we'll try out first is we'll go mechs and laser rangers, because we know those are going to be in warships probably. So let's just swap out some of our boats with scorchers into the big blue machines, the mechs, and see how bad we are with them. Let's see. All right, let's find a player base somewhere. There we go. And all right, so we'll start off. We'll throw the mechs out. Now with the laser rangers, we're gonna want to try to keep them at least in one spot. But you see right here, we're already on catch-up mode because we threw out our rangers a little bit too fast, and with no defenses. Like, say if they have to run a long distance, they're just gonna simply outrun the mechs and go right in front of them, and then all die. So they're definitely harder to use with mechs, I would say, than with heavy choppers, just because the mechs are a little bit slower and, obviously not a flying troop, so it's harder for them to get around. So you can see right here, they're actually going to stand kind of in with the mechs and get hit with rocket launchers and that kind of thing. So, I don't know. Mech and Laser Ranger, I think that's kind of used at your own risk. Yeah. I don't know if that would be super viable. It would definitely work, but it's just, you gotta make it work. It's not they're not like heavies and Zukas or something that we're used to using that just kind of line up properly with each other. But I mean, as long as we are careful of the rockets and that kind of thing. The other thing to note is obviously this base has everything. in warships, if we're doing this like somewhat early on, we might not be facing rocket launchers and shock launchers potentially at the same time of using these guys. So, what other troops could we possibly use with them? We could try bombers next. Bombers are going to work really well. I don't really see them working with anything else, to be honest. I mean, mechs and grens kind of work, but for the most part, that's just going to be too slow, right? It's just going to be simply too slow. And I don't think we typically ever use 3 boats of mechs. I think it's more like 1 or 2. They're pretty beefy and they're really slow, so I mean, it's not like you're going to get them to like spread out all at the same time. They're kind of just going to, simply walk in that one area first, and then you're on your own from there. So what we want to make sure that we do when we're using bombardiers with mechs is we want to make sure that we are flaring them relatively soon, because we want the bombers to stop, especially on front-loaded beach like this. We don't want the bombers to run up at the same height as the mechs. So if we flare them, they get off the boat and they instantly just stop there and start shooting. Versus if they catch up, then they're probably going to step in front of the mechs and then everyone's going to die. So we don't want that. We don't want that. Alright, let's see here. We have lots of critters out, but it seems like nobody wants to target them for some reason. Okay, we should be pretty good to go there, I would think. And look at this. So the mechs are going to get multiple stuns. So they'll get the sniper tower and, well, they should get any neighboring buildings. I guess these ones are just not close enough, but typically they can hit 2 buildings, I think. Maybe I'm wrong there, but yeah. You see, once we clear out some of the stuff, they just absorb everything. Now, obviously this guy, well, he did have a little bit of ice, but it's not comparable to, how strong the defenses are on warships. So, take that with a grain of salt. They're not going to walk through every base just like that, especially with some beefed up boom cannons or something like that we typically see, around the 4 or 5 ER mark, where I think this could probably, if we are going to use them, it could be good. Now, if we go back and look at the season rec with mechs, I believe mechs were unlocked immediately. I think it was like an auto unlock. But I think we still had the chance of using heavies. And I think even though we had mechs, we didn't really use them. We just did heavy rush instead because it was faster. And then we used like heavies and bombers. But the mechs did get mixed in a little bit just as soon as we needed that health to be able to survive. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's wrecking with mechs, guys. If you have any other combos or ideas, let me know down below in the comments, of course. Or what else you think could be in this season. I think it's going to be, interesting. It's always interesting to see the tech tree come out and, make sure to subscribe for sneak peeks and, turn on the bell and all that good stuff. If you don't want to miss out on anything, because we are going to show it to you here first, along with all the other boom tubers. So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Mechs and laser rangers maybe, and mechs and bombardiers. They're not really going to work with anything else that well. I mean, we could have hidden warriors, right? But I don't see them going with anything else. I mean, you don't really use warriors with any other troop ever. So the hidden warriors are the same thing. It's just you don't have to spend smoke screens on them. So, yeah, I can't see that really going anywhere, but it'll be interesting nonetheless. Guys, don't forget to put your chicken statue out. Oh, speaking of statues, check this out. Boom! We got our 14th top 500 in Warships, guys, so pretty excited to see that. I took a screenshot of the closing image, but I'll show you where we finished off here. I totally forgot to even talk about that. Yeah, so we ended up, where did we end up? 289. One of my best seasons ever, honestly, in terms of positioning. But I gotta remember, this is post-China server split, so yeah. I'll take there was one season I finished like 240 or 230 or something like that in Legendary, and it was before the China server split, so definitely more proud of that than this, but still cool. Still cool to see. So yeah, just a quick recap here. 457 battles, 244 won, 205 lost, and 8 draws. So, yeah. Highest rank, of course, was the infamous 37, and we lost those last two boss fights to get our 2450, but it's all right. It's all right. We got the Tom base out. Much love to Tom's family. Again, sad to lose him, and yeah. So there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think down below in the comment section. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is going to wrap up the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you found it interesting, entertaining, or informative. Catch you next one, guys. Check it out. Back.